Okay, good morning, everybody. We're another day into this thing. The only reason I'm probably documenting this as much as I did or am is because I didn't document it as much as I should have when I built the Ugly Iron Man. Not as much. I did some, but I wish I had the cameras on the tripods and the computers to video all the edit and stuff like that. It'd be kind of cool to make a mini movie of some of these things. But this is the best I got, so this is the best y'all get. It's just the way it works, y'all. PID controller, the box that looked like I was touching it through the monitor. That is distortion. That's deceptive. The those little recessed the rib nut right there. It'll hold a piece of this tubing. I'm gonna in a little bit when it's time to get up and take a shower. It's still dark, y'all. Is I don't want to get filthy with the steel coke and the abrasive wheel before my shower is what I'm trying to get at. But I'll do it just before. Is I'm going to cut this about an inch tall and then cut it on the diagonal so it's the L bracket, and it'll bolt in here and go up behind the. Let's see, I got one here I mocked up. I don't know which one. That's the one. Okay, that's the front one. There we go. It fits through the hole. It'll allow it to surface mount. I can't make it stand up. There we go. I got it now. It'll allow it to stand or surface mount. I don't got another piece of DIN bracket underneath this one, but it'll allow it to be flush. It'll allow it to flush mount by sliding the L bracket back and then tightening it down. That's what it's for. This is for the primary. The primary fan into the coil or the primary fan that'll blow air back through the pipes to get the heat out for now. The big, now this little one I've not put a lot of extra thought into. Get back in there dude, so I can pick you up. There we go. Okay. I've not put too much extra into. If I had a dolly, I probably would more than I am now. But without the dolly, I can't move it when it's full. That's just really the end of it. And but I've thought about wrapping it with copper, and with the air off. The stainless steel is pretty poor transmitter of heat. And even though the big one, the new one, would be aluminum, they make stainless steel foil just like they make aluminum foil, more expensive, but they make it is what I'm trying to get at. And I can wrap that even with interlaying sheets of that gauze or that it's like Nomalex, I guess, or whatever, but is to wrap it once or twice, and that would just radically cut down the radiant energy from it, or even like a 1/4 inch of kale wool would be okay. I'm just afraid of that stuff for the fibers that it has in breathing it in. It's like porcelain stuff, really hard on your lungs. Look into it before you use it is what I'm trying to get at. But to calm it down and then wrap it with copper so it's not so it just gets the water to 180, but not any hotter just by by transmission. When you turn on the fans, then yeah, it would run the water well over 200. Because it's trapped. I want to make an air pocket, like I was saying before, where it's just a bigger drum over a smaller drum. And I have it being priced, except they're going through inventory. It's a pontoon, the aluminum logs for underneath a pontoon. That's what they do for a living. But they're going through inventory. They can't give me a price on it. But it would turn the big tank that I have into a whole house forever furnace. A sand furnace is what you'd basically call that. We're going to call this one 3, like 3E, with the 3 going one way and the E going the other way. 3E. That's its name. I don't know why I picked that one, but if the Ugly Iron Man can be Ugly Iron Man, this one can be 3. I'm just thinking that this rendition is going to work perfect. It has a lot of controls. It's pretty. I could put a programmable logic controller in this thing and it could probably skip and dance. I mean, it's going to be fairly smart just the way it is, just with the PID controller for the ramp and all that. But like I was saying, with a programmable logic controller, you could turn on the fans, turn them off, turn them up, turn them down. You could do a whole bunch of jazz with that. Switch between voltages, and it's all by relay. But there's like 12 coming in, 8 going out, or 20. There's some that are like 24 in, 24 out. Just crazy amount of connectivity to what you can do with them. Inside this little Jujubee, this is just scrap metal. I gotta cut up, and I just wasn't wanting to get filthy yesterday. Found my plate. That's from the bottom of this little joker. I'm going to cut some notches on that try, bend them in, and then cut them to the height that I need. And then this will be the plate that the copper pipes ride on while it's setting in concrete for that first initial bit. And I'm only going to put like to this collar up here that deep in concrete, and it should trap the pipes going out as well as the pipes coming up. All you'll have is the pieces up here like held out in space. If I had like a Nerf ball or something, I'd probably put it between the pipes and then use a rubber band to hold it, to give it tension. It would keep it from slipping in those holes too. But I don't, so probably won't. And I don't see going to town. Well, I'm going to go to town, yeah. If I see a Nerf ball, probably what I'll do is let's get this Joker Jewel turned over. That's all bolted in there, y'all. So I can do exactly that. I've been thinking about just filling it up with mortar, straight from the get-go. A heavy sand mortar with what do you call that stuff? I got to look it up. But the acrylic stuff, I don't know what temperature that stuff can take. That's the only reason I've not really thought about it. Only on the bottom where it's going to come in contact with the stainless steel and all, is then the concrete, if it disintegrates or whatever, it won't hurt nothing. I'm not going to modify it or nothing like that. It'll just be regular, like a heavy mortar mix, sand and concrete kind of deal. Or sand and cement, I should say, not sand and concrete, sand and cement. But you can see where the passage goes to the outside now, and that's where this aluminum pipe goes in. It fit before I bolted it up. I might have to take these 2 bolts out to get it to line up, to get it into the deal, through the deal and into this deal. And then re-bolt it. Just loosen them up. Those bolts are long enough. Probably another ½ an inch travel on the bolt. I lucked out. This is all. I didn't have to buy no hardware. These are left over from other boxes. These bolts were from that. These bolts were from something else because I had to cut one. The new package that I got has little bolts for it. I should have used them, and I could have used these longer bolts for other stuff. But it's all good. But it is what it is. I'm going to put a couple riv nuts. I think I showed you. In the box, there's some riv nuts in the bottom. But I'm going to put like a riv nut here. Well, probably because that bolt's there. Like a riv nut here, a riv nut there, a riv nut here. So it avoids that. Oh, okay, they don't even overlap. Good. Well, then I thought about that already. But just the riv nut in the deal. And that way I can bolt it on from the bottom. And I'm going to take a piece of kale wool and lay it down on this one here because it's real thin, y'all. Remember that, how bad it melted. But lay a piece of kale wool on this, sandwich, and probably even let it come out just a little bit. The pinch is what I'm trying to get at. It's fine for that. Same thing goes for the back of it. I don't know if we're probably looking at the wrong side. This will be the side that the controller's on. Now, remember, this is orientated upside down. This is the bottom. The controller is going to be in here, like so. And I don't want to scratch up that top. It's the only surface that I can scratch so far. But the controller will be there, but turned upside down. and the hose will come out and then connect straight to that fan that was on the bottom. For now, I'm just going to get some toggle switches. It'll just be on fan for the moment. Like I said, do I think it's going to work? Yeah, I actually give it probably a 98% chance of functioning perfectly with a better controller. Because a PID only does temperature, where a programmable logic controller does a lot. You can do temperature, like open gate, flow, water, a bunch of different things with those things. That's like a brain, like the single board computers we use in the military. Basically, exactly what, but not the same products. You know what I'm saying? But basically, the single board computers. The oh yeah, that's where those slides go back and forth. You can see where I cut out the back so the nut. It was just so the rib nut had room and it worked, but so the bolt, when it bottoms out, it don't interfere. And this is going to have a piece of kale wool on the back of this as well, and the strap will hold it in to between, is what I'm trying to get at. It'll keep the box, it'll protect the box, is what it's for. Other than that, it looks, I think I'm getting about down to the crunching here. It's almost early 30. Y'all see the sun coming up out there? I was going to make the video, and again, no, I'm not mad. I get people get childish. Dude, I worked 33 years in those nightclubs. I fully understand man baby. More than y'all can ever understand. Full out Karens and full on man children and all that. 33 years of these people I've dealt with. So I get it, you know, and that's another reason why I don't get intimidated. And when people say intimidating stuff and you don't get intimidated, then they get really pissed quick. And that's the situation here. Because like I said, he called me out. He said, I know you're a cripple. You don't want your yard full of water. You da-da-da-da-da. He was straight out threatening me repeatedly. Like 4 times before I didn't want to hear that mantra again. And why he was on the phone for so long, I don't know. That's the part I didn't understand. The best hindsight guess that I'm getting is, even though he was the supervisor, not the superintendent of the county, I mean the local area supervisor, I think he was the man baby in the road grader who did all the damage. That's just, I don't bet y'all, but I would confidently say dimes on the dollar he was the man baby in the road grader. Just saying it like that. But like I said, I need to get out here and use the light so I can see the damage or the picture, because otherwise when the you've seen the pictures out here, when the sun is up, it's so intense you can't see squat. I mean, there's no shadows, there's no anything to see. It just blaze out. So I got to use the light while I can. And yesterday, by the time I thought about it, it was way past this, is what I'm trying to get at. But I need to get it done before it gets any farther. Don't know. We're here. We're gonna go to town and we're gonna pick up a few more things like that strap. Couple of I don't know, a couple other things, I guess. I thought about using the tube here to make the pieces, the standoffs or whatever, but I don't know if without a vise, I don't think I could bend that. I got a torch, I could heat it up and all that, but without a vise, I'm kind of pooched. I will test it though. When I cut the piece off, I got like a mini bender thing, a clamp that I used for the racks outside to hold the steel together, that I could clamp on it, and if it will bend, I'll probably just use a piece of this instead of the strap. But I need to go to town anyways. There's other stuff I need to pick up that I ordered and it's in, and I still got to order and it'll be in later. There are a lot of stuff up here you ordered, but it's okay. Like, there's some people that don't like it, and I love it this way. This is my speed. I don't go fast. I don't get aggressive. I don't get whatever. and sometimes when you don't get aggressive, people take that like aggression. Um, it's weird, but it's the truth. Shit, people are odd. All I'm trying to say, y'all, people are odd. I don't know. I've been looking back at that conversation we had for like 15 minutes, 20 minutes while he was, I was talking to the area elite foreman or whatever, and he just got more pissed every second of the conversation. I mean, just that was, at first I thought it was because of the y'all and all that. And then the more I thought of it, it was like, no, that's just a high energy drinking kid that has like emotional issues that needs to be addressed. You know, whether he's a vet or whatever he is, you know, I mean, he has emotional issues that like need to be addressed. Even if he's never served, maybe he had something traumatic in his life. I can't be mad, is what I'm trying to. It's just not in my nature to hold it. Now, if you tear up my shit, will I sue you? Yeah, I will. You know, if you steal my shit, will I sue you? Yeah, I will. But I'm not doing it out of malice or anything like that. It's just because you're a dick. You know, you didn't think your shit through. You know, that's not on me. And that's how I feel about this. You know, do I want an apology? No. Do I want him fired? Oh, hell no. Okay. Do I want anything? No No, nothing. Okay. All I wanted the Joker to do is knock the pile level so I could drive over it. I would do the rest. And I told him so on the phone 4 fucking times. So let's make that shit clear. Only on the 4th time of, are you an engineer? Are you? Blah, 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 blah. Okay, 4th time did I say, do you mean the guy who uses the satellites to make the pretty pictures? Da 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 da. And he goes, yeah. I said, yes, I am a cartographer. And that only fucking pissed him off more. But Man Baby was full on man Karen on his way. The guy on the phone, okay? He may have not been the road grader operator, but Man Karen was full tilt. Right up until the time I said the road grader guy is here, I was backed way up. I didn't want to talk to nobody. Am I intimidated by being in a wheelchair? Oh, hell no. I am not intimidated by nobody's shit. People that walk don't realize how fragile you are when you get around a wheelchair. Am I going to say what? No, because that would take the power away from crippled people and give it to the hands of the predators and to the people who prey on people, you know, that are in a wheelchair. But yeah, you can fight really kind of well in a wheelchair. And wheelchair people are extremely strong in their upper body, far more than the tabletop football TV watching guy who still thinks he's in high school, okay? Much stronger than that. Dude, I was pulling myself 10 feet in the air to bolt that rack together in the back with no legs. Much stronger than these people realize. If you knock me out of my chair and pile on top of me, we're equal. You're no longer walking. I will beat the shit out of you on the ground. You don't even stand a chance. I'm that much stronger than you are. Anybody in a wheelchair is that much stronger than somebody who walks. You don't use your arms to walk on. We do. Remember that. just a word of warning. Remember that. We're not the prey that you think we are. Yes, if you take a gun and you're going to kill us, or take a knife and you're going to murder us, okay, that's just the way it is. If you want to go to that extreme man, Karen, then yeah, there's not much we can do in a wheelchair. You got it right. But if you want to confront us hand on hand or whatever, oh, you're in for a rude awakening, asshole. I'm just being honest. I never realized what a difference it would be to lose my legs. And I can't say that enough. I mean, like, and I was a 38-year martial artist. And I could never imagine what it would be like, how much body-wise I would change by losing my legs, is all I'm trying. Never grasp that. So, if And I look at shit from every angle, three different ways. So if I miss that, I'm thinking that there's a lot of predators out there that have too. And I would actually like to have a class to teach crippled people and only crippled people. If you're able bodied, you need to leave the room, kind of thing. Because martial arts is that way. There was a lot of times that when cops would say, "Oh, can you do this and this and for free?" and it was like, "Dude, I'm not gonna train a police officer in martial arts, even if you pay me extremely well. Martial arts are to keep the cops from doing tyrannical shit. That's what martial arts are about. You don't, and for all these sellout martial arts people that are teaching cops and keep teaching federal law enforcement, you are a cunt. Straight out, pure and simple. You're a useless cunt. Y'all have a big day."